In the world of automotive innovation, few names carry as much weight as Mercedes-Benz. For decades, this German powerhouse has been synonymous with luxury, performance, and cutting-edge technology. But today, we find ourselves witnessing a shocking retreat. A surrender in many ways, as Mercedes abandons its ambitious electric vehicle plans and crawls back to the familiar embrace of gas-guzzling engines. The fall from grace is as dramatic as it is disappointing. Just a few years ago, Mercedes was trumpeting its electric future, promising a revolution on wheels that would redefine the very essence of automotive luxury. The MB.EA large electric vehicle platform was to be their crowning achievement, a technological marvel that would propel the company into a new era of sustainable mobility. But now, that dream lies shattered, discarded like yesterday's newspaper. Let's take a moment to comprehend the magnitude of this failure. The MB.EA platform wasn't just another project, it was the cornerstone of Mercedes' electric strategy. This platform was designed to underpin a wide range of large electric vehicles, from executive sedans to luxurious SUVs. It promised groundbreaking technologies, ultra-long range capabilities, and a level of performance that would make even the most ardent petrolhead reconsider their allegiance to internal combustion engines. But alas, it was not to be. In a move that has sent shockwaves throughout the industry, Mercedes has reportedly cancelled the entire MB.EA platform. This isn't a minor setback or a strategic pivot. It's a full-blown retreat, a white flag waved in the face of mounting challenges and disappointing results. The irony of the situation is palpable. Just last week, Mercedes opened a new battery research and production center at its Stuttgart headquarters. The company's executives stood proudly, extolling the virtues of electric mobility and reaffirming their commitment to a sustainable future. Little did we know that behind closed doors, the decision to abandon their most ambitious EV project had already been made. This stark contradiction between public posturing and private decision-making raises serious questions about Mercedes' integrity and vision. How can we trust a company that speaks of innovation while simultaneously retreating to the comfort of outdated technologies? It's a betrayal not just of their stated goals, but of the trust placed in them by consumers and investors alike. The reasons for this retreat are as troubling as they are predictable. Sales of Mercedes' flagship electric models, the EQE and EQS, have been nothing short of disastrous. These vehicles, touted as the pinnacle of electric luxury, have failed to capture the imagination of buyers. In a market increasingly dominated by Tesla and emerging Chinese brands, Mercedes' offerings have felt outdated and overpriced, relics of a bygone era struggling to stay relevant in a rapidly evolving landscape. The numbers paint a grim picture. In the second quarter of 2024, electric vehicles accounted for a mere 11% of Mercedes' total vehicle deliveries. This paltry figure is a far cry from the company's lofty ambitions and a damning indictment of their ability to compete in the electric arena. While other automakers are seeing their EV sales soar, Mercedes is left in the dust, watching helplessly as the future of mobility passes them by. In response to this embarrassing performance, Mercedes is now redirecting resources to further develop its existing EVA2 platform. This move reeks of desperation, a last-ditch effort to salvage something from the wreckage of their failed electric strategy. But let's be clear, the EVA2 platform is already outdated, a stopgap measure that pales in comparison to the cutting-edge technologies being developed by Mercedes' competitors. Mercedes CEO Ola Källenius has attempted to put a positive spin on this debacle, reassuring shareholders that the company will continue to produce both electric and combustion engine cars for the foreseeable future. But this so-called flexible approach is nothing more than a thinly veiled admission of defeat. It's an acknowledgement that Mercedes has failed to make the transition to electric mobility and is now forced to hedge its bets, clinging desperately to the fading glory of internal combustion engines. This retreat to gas guzzlers is not just a failure of technology or marketing, it's a moral failure. In an age where the devastating impacts of climate change are becoming increasingly apparent, Mercedes' decision to double down on fossil-fueled power vehicles is nothing short of irresponsible. The company's stated goal of achieving a CO2-neutral new car fleet by 2039 now rings hollow, a distant promise that seems increasingly unlikely to be fulfilled. The ramifications of this decision extend far beyond Mercedes itself. As one of the world's most prestigious automakers, Mercedes has long been a trendsetter, influencing the direction of the entire industry. Their retreat from electric vehicles sends a dangerous message, potentially slowing the adoption of sustainable mobility solutions at a time when we can least afford such delays. Moreover, this failure raises serious questions about the competence of Mercedes' leadership. How could they have misjudged the market so badly? How could they have invested billions in electric vehicle technology only to abandon it at the first sign of trouble? The lack of foresight and strategic planning is staggering, and it bodes ill for the company's future prospects. The contrast with Mercedes' competitors is stark and unflattering. While companies like Tesla continue to innovate and push the boundaries of electric vehicle technology, Mercedes is retreating to the safety of familiar but outdated technologies. This backward-looking approach is not just disappointing, it's potentially disastrous for the company's long-term viability. Consider the rapid advancements being made in battery technology, autonomous driving systems, and connected car features. These innovations are reshaping the automotive landscape, creating new expectations and possibilities for consumers. By retreating from the cutting edge of electric vehicle development, Mercedes risks falling hopelessly behind, becoming increasingly irrelevant in a market that values innovation above all else. The human cost of this failure should not be overlooked. Thousands of engineers, designers, and other professionals have dedicated years of their lives to Mercedes electric vehicle projects. Their hard work and creativity have been callously discarded, their expertise devalued. The morale within the company must be at an all-time low, with talented individuals likely questioning their future at a company that seems to have lost its way. Furthermore, this retreat is a betrayal of the trust placed in Mercedes by early adopters of their electric vehicles. These customers, who believed in the company's vision and were willing to pay a premium for cutting-edge technology, now find themselves owning vehicles that may quickly become obsolete. The resale value of these cars is likely to plummet, leaving owners out of pocket and feeling justifiably angry at Mercedes' lack of commitment. The environmental implications of this decision are equally troubling. Transportation is one of the largest contributors to greenhouse gas emissions, and the transition to electric vehicles is crucial in our fight against climate change. Mercedes' retreat to gas guzzlers is a step backward in this vital effort, potentially encouraging other automakers to slow their own electrification plans. This failure also highlights the dangers of half-hearted commitments to sustainability. Mercedes, like many other traditional automakers, has long tried to have it both ways, paying lip service to environmental concerns while continuing to profit from the sale of polluting vehicles. This duplicitous approach has now backfired spectacularly, exposing the company's lack of genuine commitment to a sustainable future. The cancellation of the MB.EA platform is not just a setback for Mercedes, it's a blow to the entire concept of luxury electric vehicles. The promise of combining opulence with sustainability, of delivering high performance without high emissions, now seems further away than ever. Mercedes' failure casts doubt on the viability of this entire market segment, potentially slowing innovation and investment across the industry. Moreover, this retreat exposes the vulnerability of traditional automakers in the face of disruptive technologies. Mercedes, with its century-long history and vast resources, should have been well-positioned to lead the electric revolution. Their failure to do so raises uncomfortable questions about the ability of legacy car companies to adapt to a rapidly changing world. The geopolitical implications of this decision should not be underestimated. As European automakers struggle with electrification, Chinese manufacturers are rapidly gaining ground. Mercedes' retreat could accelerate this shift, potentially leading to a significant loss of market share and influence for European industry. The consequences for employment, economic growth, and technological leadership in Europe could be severe. This failure also represents a missed opportunity for Germany to establish itself as a leader in sustainable technologies. As one of the country's flagship companies, Mercedes' success in electric vehicles could have driven innovation and investment across the German economy. Instead, their retreat threatens to reinforce perceptions of Germany as a laggard in the transition to a green economy. The financial implications for Mercedes are equally dire. The company has invested billions in electric vehicle technology, much of which may now go to waste. The cost of this failed strategy will likely be borne by shareholders, employees, and customers alike. Moreover, as governments around the world introduce increasingly stringent emission regulations, Mercedes' renewed focus on combustion engines could lead to hefty fines and restricted access to key markets. Perhaps most troublingly, this retreat signals a lack of faith in the future of sustainable mobility. By crawling back to gas guzzlers, Mercedes is essentially betting against the global transition to clean energy. This short-sighted approach not only jeopardizes the company's future, but also undermines broader efforts to combat climate change and reduce our dependence on fossil fuels. The psychological impact on consumers should not be underestimated either. Mercedes has long been associated with progress and innovation. The retreat from electric vehicles tarnishes this image, potentially driving environmentally conscious luxury buyers towards more forward-thinking brands. The damage to Mercedes' brand value could take years, if not decades, to repair. In conclusion, Mercedes' retreat to gas guzzlers as EVs fail to boost profit is more than just a corporate misstep. It's a tragedy of global proportions. It represents a failure of vision, a lack of commitment to sustainability, and a betrayal of the trust placed in one of the world's most respected automakers. As we watch Mercedes crawl back to the polluting technologies of the past, we're left to wonder if a company with such resources and expertise can fail so spectacularly in the transition to electric mobility, what hope is there for the rest of the industry? This retreat is not just disappointing, it's infuriating. It's a slap in the face to everyone who believed in Mercedes' promises of a cleaner, more sustainable future. As the company turns its back on progress, choosing short-term profits over long-term sustainability, we're left with a bitter taste in our mouths and a growing sense of despair about the future of mobility. The road ahead for Mercedes looks bleak. In a world increasingly defined by the urgent need for sustainable solutions, their retreat to gas guzzlers positions them on the wrong side of history. As other automakers race towards an electric future, Mercedes risks being left behind. A once great name reduced to a cautionary tale of what happens when a company fails to adapt to changing times. The tragedy of this situation is that it didn't have to be this way. With their resources, expertise, and brand power, Mercedes could have been a leader in the electric revolution. Instead, they've chosen the path of least resistance, retreating to the familiar but ultimately doomed world of internal combustion engines. It's a decision that may haunt them and all of us for years to come.